Hello my loves, welcome back to Burning Times Tarot. This is Jenny. Welcome back and welcome to my new viewers. I hope everyone enjoys these videos and I hope that they're resonating for you. And I'm very excited because I've been meaning to do this for a while. But I'm going to be, this is going to be the inaugural run of my music oracle. So I'm clairaudient, and one of the ways that, okay, so, sorry. Okay, I don't know if you could tell in the last video, I was completely in a trance for like the entire thing. And I'm kind of in one now, but my brain's also racing because we're about to have the eclipse and I go a little nutty during eclipses. So please pardon me if I laugh for no reason or like, go on weird tangents, which I mean, I already do anyways. But anyways, back to this. One of the ways in which I am clairaudient is through music. That's actually probably the strongest way that I am. And it's one of those things that literally did not occur to me until this year, that it could manifest in that way. But I mean, of course, right? So what that means for me is I tend to like get messages in songs a lot, you know, and they come to me through all different channels, means, ways, and you know, I'll hear something and then I look up the lyrics and like the lyrics perfectly fit, you know, whatever is happening in the moment. So that's one way that I experience it. And so like, why not? And songs pop into my head all the time when I'm doing readings, and then I don't mention them for some reason, which is very weird. So I'm going to mention them. So I have loads of where am I? I have loads of like construction paper pieces in here, and it's just gonna keep growing, you know. I bought like a little notebook of like construction paper and I've already gone through nearly the entire thing. But I've noticed, so thank you to Eso Tarot. She is just, I love her. She's insanely talented and just seems like a very sweet, genuine person. But she is the one who gave me the idea for the music oracle. And I like all different kinds of music, so, you know, some of it will resonate with you, some of it won't, but I feel like I want to have enough variety that it'll resonate with someone. And a lot of, anytime I've seen music incorporated in tarot channels, it usually pertains to love readings, and absolutely no disrespect to that, because I think a lot of people look down on people who do love readings, but I mean, it's one of the most powerful forces on this earth, so there's a reason for that. But I wanted mine to pertain to all kinds of different things because like music is a massive part of my life, and it doesn't matter what I'm experiencing, it's always a big part of my life, and I'm sure, I know it is for many, many other people out there too. So most of them at the moment probably still relate to love or sex, just because that's what so many songs are about. But you know, I am also adding songs that pertain to other life experiences too. So it's not just all one thing. So I'm going to draw those towards the end of the reading. And what was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh yeah, I'm working on some playlists as well. I have one already ready to go. It's called Creatrix, and it's well, see, I have a separate one that's like a Queen of Wands one, but that's very much like the time we're in, right? So we're about to have the solar eclipse in Sagittarius. We're in Sagittarius season. Sagittarius is the archer. You know, it's about fire. It's about forward movement, manifestation. But so one phrase that keeps popping up in my mind lately around that is my aim is true. So I feel like that is going to resonate with a couple of you out there, or maybe one of you. So it's about forward movement, but it's, you know, it's not like Virgo, which is like earth energy, which is very much about like the details and like really making sure that everything is perfect and in place. Like this is much more like it's still focused, but it's also kind of lighter, and it's just that not needing, like, you know, being okay not knowing the details and just sort of moving forward anyways, and staying light and staying grounded, right? So yeah, I am going to keep mentioning being grounded because it's so important, as I've been learning myself. And really, if you want, the only way to truly progress and move forward, I think, in life, I mean, I feel like one of the most important lessons I've ever learned, or possibly will ever learn, and you know, I feel like I only learned it fairly recently, but it is to do as much as you can to stay grounded, to stay centered and connected to yourself, because that's really the only way to really connect with source and connect with your purpose and who you are, and just be happy, you know, you won't, obviously no one's happy 100% of the time. Just be like a complete person no matter what is happening around you, without going into fight or flight, without like shutting down or dissociating, which are all very common trauma responses. So but anyways, sorry, I'm rambling again. My playlist, so I have, you know, I'm working on a few, right? So we have Empress energy, we have Queen of Wands, we have, there's a bunch that I've already started, but I feel like for Sagittarius season, you know, that's definitely wand energy. Like, that's fire, it's passion, it's like being propelled forward, right? And so again, like the song that popped into my head when I was thinking about it was Liftoff from Watch the Throne. So that might resonate with some of you, but I love that song, like, and it just has that really that it just feels so optimistic and just, yeah, so full of like that forward momentum. Anyways, I had a whole other thing I wanted to talk about with Empress energy and receptivity, but let me start with the cards, right? Because that's why you came here, I presume. So yeah, we have the solar eclipse happening, depending on what time zone you're in, either later tonight, it's December 3rd, or tomorrow. So, and it's finishing up like a whole cycle of eclipses. It started last year, so there's definitely like a big shift in energy, dismantling a lot of like outdated beliefs, and really like coming to a new place of understanding and growth. So it's all positive stuff. So I'm going to start with the Shadowscapes Tarot, which was gifted to me by a good friend of mine, and I had only just been admiring it online on another channel like a few days prior, but neglected to actually check what it was, and then it showed up. So it's always lovely when that happens. So let's see what the cards have for us for this eclipse season. And I shuffled all the decks just before I hit record, just to save time. Okay, they're being very stubborn. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands, the Three of Swords. Let's see, what else? Okay, well, now it has loads to say. Okay, so, as I said, Five of Wands, Three of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, here, I'm just going to show them as I'm talking about them. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, so Five of Wands energy is very much about like an internal, well, okay, it can be external or internal, but the very strong vibe I'm picking up from this is that this is internal conflict, right? So to me, and with the Wands, I'm really getting like head versus heart energy, like the head and the heart kind of battling each other, and you know, just being very like back and forth and not really like being able to settle your mind on something. And again, just as I was talking about grounding, it's like that. I'm getting this sensation in my body of like, it's that sense where, you know, say you do meditate and you do ground and you feel better for like 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes, like your heart's pounding, or, you know, you start feeling all like jittery and uncentered again. So that's very much like the energy I'm picking up with this. And then it's followed by the Three of Swords, right? Which is known as the card of heartbreak. But again, in this context, I'm literally, okay, I said head versus heart. Like, you know, this is the head, right? Like all the conflicting thoughts just fucking like battling each other, Mad Max style. And then we've got the heart, which is pierced by these arrows. But like the energy I'm getting from this is that these arrows, swords, so I said it was Sagittarius season. I feel like the Three of Swords is, I'm getting this, this isn't like necessarily in the present for a lot of you. I mean, obviously for some of you it is, but I almost feel like this is, it's a pattern. It's like a pattern of being, a pattern of behavior, a pattern of thinking, right? Like not being centered, constantly like having your head and your heart fighting with each other because you don't actually know what it is that you want, and maybe you don't even really know who you are. And you're constantly like in conflict between what you want to do and what you think you're supposed to do. And I'm hearing that for a lot of you, what you think you're supposed to do, like you do it because you believe it's the right thing. Like you believe that you're acting out of integrity and that you're doing like, you know, what's right. And yet what you've been told is right is not real for a lot of you, or it's a version of the truth, but it doesn't align with your truth. And so I feel like this head versus heart energy really is like a lot of you, like, yeah, just the battle between those two drives, and the battle between like what other people expect of you and what would actually make you happy. But yeah, like a lot. Okay, sorry, I'm like these, it's like these two cards, because the rest of these are actually all quite positive. But it's almost like this is the energy that like you're moving through, you know, and hopefully are like moving through during this eclipse season, and finally like putting to bed, and finally learning to get that grounding and get out of this energy, because it literally is like being on a fucking roller coaster, or okay, again, So I'm gonna have to like make a note because I haven't even gotten to the oracle yet. But I'm gonna have to like take notes on what songs I mentioned so I can link to like videos in the description box. I know I have a pen around here somewhere. Okay. Well, I'm sure everyone knows Liftoff, but the one that just popped in my head was Carousel by Melanie Martinez. I know she's problematic, but I don't really listen to her stuff. I just kind of know this song mainly, but it is good. But anyways, it really is that that sense of like, well, because there's a line where she says, I'm glued on tight to this carousel, right? So it's like the constant, just like up and down, and like not just, you can't get off the fucking ride, right? Like all you want to do is just be still for a while, and yet you can't. Or like every time you feel up, you know, you want to just like enjoy that and stay in that, but sooner or later like your thoughts catch up to you again, and then you're down again, and it's exhausting. It's fucking exhausting. So okay, followed by the Ten of Pentacles. So I mean, I'm hearing that for a lot of you, like this approach has gotten you a lot, like in terms of money, or like some kind of financial stability. That mentality has helped you to like build something for yourself and like have something solid for yourself, and that is wonderful. And yet, maybe you feel trapped by it because you're realizing that like what got you there doesn't make you happy anymore, and it's not aligning with the person that you now are or the person that you want to be. So followed by the Page of Pentacles. And so again, I'm hearing that like for a lot of you, you're moving out of this energy, you're moving into like the person that you are becoming, and so you're looking at new ways to, because you don't want to like lose all of your stability necessarily. Sometimes you have to take a risk. Like I said, I've had to restart my life from scratch several times. So sometimes you just got to take a risk, right? But what I'm getting with the page is really that, so you're starting to look at like other ways that you can make money, other ways, other like career paths, other things that you just want to do in life in general, even if it's not like your main job or career, like just new revenue streams or just side hustles, whatever, but things that light you up, things that make you happy, which is what I keep coming back to, and that is definitely Sagittarius energy, is like following that light, and not being afraid to take the leap. And so yeah, there's the 10 here, and the page is still like this kind of burgeoning energy, right? So like this might still be an idea phase for a lot of you, like you're just kind of working out like what you want to do or how you're going to do it or how to approach it, but it is starting to take shape, and it's going to be so much more in alignment with who you are that most of the time it's not even going to feel like work because it makes you happy. And it might take a little while for it to like really get off the ground, but it will be so worth it. Like this page is going to become a king, and this is followed by a king card, but it's not the King of Pentacles, it's the King of Wands. And what was I saying about Sagittarius, about wand energy, right? Like, okay, King of Wands is big dick energy, right? Like, and again, this doesn't pertain to like actual gender expression. These are just energies. And it's mainly just a handy framework for discussing these things because everyone sort of like understands what they mean. Like for me personally, a lot of traits that are typically considered masculine, I consider feminine, right? But it's a framework. So King of Wands, Queen of Wands, big clit energy, big dick energy, like whatever. It doesn't even matter. It's just, it's about like standing in your power, right? It's about the passion, the drive, the vision, really like knowing who you are and what you want and not being afraid to go out and get it. So yeah, I mean, fuck yeah, right? And then followed by the Queen of Cups, right? So I feel like this is perfect balance. And this is, okay, again, for some of you, this could be a divine counterpart situation. For some of you, it could be like that there is someone in your future that balances you. But in this context, for most of you, what I'm really getting is it's you balancing the two sides of yourself, right? Because we have the King of Wands, which is like passion and fire, and then the Queen of Cups, which is like emotion and intuition. So we went from Jesus. Sorry, like holy shit. And these are no, okay. The three court cards. And it's all okay, sorry. I'm telling you. So we started with the Five of Wands and the Three of Swords, right? So head versus heart energy. And we're ending with the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So again, like the heart, well, this is the heart, but like passion and drive, right? So like mental versus emotional and spiritual, right? So it's about coming into balance. It's about, oh, no, it's that way. It's about like really, this is like the higher expression of this energy that we started with. So that's fucking gorgeous. I love that. I was gonna do clarifiers, but I feel like this was just so fucking like, bam. I kind of feel like you can't really fuck with this. Like, I don't want to, this is just perfect. So yeah, fuck it. We're not, plus I got a lot of stuff to do when I finish this video. You might not think so because I just ramble, but it's true. So, okay, we're gonna get some Loteria cards. Oh, I had so much to say, but I don't know, maybe I should save some of it. Yeah, I've been having a lot of thoughts, you know, on the topic of groundedness. I've been having a lot, okay, there we go. A lot of thoughts around the Empress card, like that archetype, but also on like receptivity and how that relates to, oh, we don't need that many. Hold on. Okay, well, this one landed face up, and it's La Garza again. So let's see. Right, okay. So you have La Bota in reverse. And we have La Garza upright. I find it interesting. This candle just went out. I don't like that. Okay, one sec. Where's my mirror? Sorry for that sound. Okay. I find it interesting that the number is 22, because obviously we're heading into 2022, and that's just been a number that like keeps popping up a lot lately. I feel like this is reflecting the energy from before, right? La Bota reverse is like, so you know what you want to do, but like you haven't like put it into action yet, right? That's fine. Like, you might be, you might have other stuff you've got to do before you can really focus on that, like, but it is like this feeling of still maybe feeling a bit trapped or stuck. But then the Garza is really, you know, it's about like not being afraid to go a bit deeper, to look beneath the surface. And so I feel like that's really that Queen of Cups energy of really, like I said, going within, like getting more centered, and really taking the time to, like I said, dismantle those old belief systems and really kind of go, okay, like I'm getting, you know, like a blank slate. And so it's like, well, okay, if I know that this stuff isn't true for me anymore, then what is, right? And like that's going to be different for every single one of you. But that's what's called for. And I think a lot of you are doing that. That's why this came out. But so I think really, I'm just take this as your encouragement to keep going, right? Like, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your intuition. Get more in touch with it, right? The more in touch with it you are, the less you will question it, the less you will doubt yourself, and the more centered you will be. So I had to go back to the Work Your Light Oracle, because it's just, I love it. Okay. Will we get one more? Let's see. So yes, I shuffled them, but then letting them fall, I feel always, oh, there were two here, always yields the best results. Okay, I was just going to pull like two, but sure. Okay, well, so, alright, well, so the cards went big here to start off with. We have the Pleiades. Double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So for a lot of you, the new direction that you want to go in, it might be something that is, you know, more considered more like left of field, or, you know, something that is maybe is not really accepted in your community, maybe something that is looked down on or looked at with mistrust, you know, say something like tarot, or, you know, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be that, but you know, for some of you might be exploring like different like alternative medicines or belief systems, whatever it is, but you really are finding your true calling. And so this card is a reminder to stay on that path, and again, like, don't doubt yourself. And so, and then this is followed up by boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And, you know, I've been talking about grounding, and a big part of grounding is staying centered, and part of staying centered is holding your boundaries, right? So, okay, I'm going to talk about, all right, sorry. I'm going to do these cards, and then I'm going to talk about this, because this directly relates to what I was going to get into with the Empress energy. I can't make this up. Like, you saw me just throw the cards around, right? Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? So again, like, you can't get any clearer than that. So some of you, you really need to just keep going within, keep, you know, don't be afraid to ask yourself tough questions, and don't fear the answer, right? Gonna try really hard not to start singing Blue Oyster Cult right now, but you know, don't sorry, that part of Wayne's World still cracks me up, but you know, I just think of Garth like hammering that fucking mechanical arm saying we fear change, right? Like, and I'm getting for a lot of you out there who are fixed sign, like I'm Taurus, which is a fixed sign, but was it Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and oh dear God, what's the last one? It'll come back to me. Anyways, fixed signs, like, it's pentacle energy, it's earth energy, it's very slow moving. You know, oh, now once it starts to move, then sometimes, well, no, sometimes you need to just look out, but other times it's like, no, it's gonna take time, like, because pentacles are about physical manifestation. That is the most dense, like, energy to work with, right? So it's not sword energy, which is like air. It's not wand energy, which is fire. It's like, it's earth, right? So don't, you know, don't put like time limits on yourself. Don't set too many expectations. Like, don't start getting so focused on like one specific outcome that you start to like lose focus. Just really, I'm getting like hermit card energy because, you know, he's holding the lantern and he is journeying within, like he is attaining enlightenment, and yet he can only see a couple steps ahead of him, right? So he's literally being forced to live in the present. He can't look ahead or behind, and all he can go by is what is illuminated right in front of him. And yet he's making forward progress as he goes. So I feel like that's really like the energy to maintain right now. And then transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Okay, right? What I was saying about earth energy. It takes time. It takes time. Like, these things, they don't come easy and they don't always come quickly, and you just have to be patient with yourself. And again, like I always say, you know, it's easy to beat yourself up sometimes, but I guarantee you've probably made a lot more progress than you even realize. And I guarantee you that like the world around you is going to start reflecting that if it hasn't already. But I think that for a lot of you, it has, and you are seeing it, and maybe you're still doubting it, but this is your message. Like, you don't have to doubt it. Just go with it, and it will show you more and more to the point where like you can't really doubt it anymore. And that's a beautiful place to be. So, Moonology deck, of course. Oh, well. Alright. Is there two? Yeah, there's two. Alright. No, we'll see. We'll do like one more. If one wants to come out. Okay. Let's see. So, no, there's one more. Man, they just keep hiding themselves on me. Holy shit. Okay. So with Moonology cards, right, like, again, it's up to your own discernment and your own sort of, like, whatever resonates with you. So for some of you, the sign that's mentioned, like, it could be that time of the year is what is, like, more important for you. Others, it could be whatever cycle the moon is in or currently in, could be, like, or, you know, whatever, yeah, whatever, like, is the next cycle upcoming, or next phase upcoming, could be, like, the most important part for you. So, yeah, it just depends on what aspect relates to you, so that's why like the time frames can vary quite a bit. But so we have new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. So for those of you who did resonate with that, like divine counterpart energy of King of Wands and Queen of Cups, you know, and again, Libra is all about balance, right? It's justice, it's balance, and it's harmony. And so for some of you, it could be that it's beginning, like, I mean, we're on the new moon now. So it could either be that it's happening for you now, or that it's going to happen at the next new moon. It could be the next time the moon is in Libra, or it could be Libra season, which is until, next September. So yeah, that's for some of you. And then adjustments are required, third quarter moon. And so, again, this is for those of you where that divine masculine and divine feminine energy is being balanced within you. You're still working through things. You're still learning, but like you are leaving that lower vibration energy of Five of Wands and Three of Swords, and you're like moving into a new phase of your life. And so communication is key. New moon in Gemini. And Gemini corresponds to the Lover's card, which came out in the last reading. And like I said, so it can represent that like counterpart energy, but it also can represent like the balancing within the self. And so, whichever one that is, for you, communication is key no matter what. Like, so obviously when dealing with other people, communication is key, but even for yourself. So to me, it's about, as you move into this new phase of your life, or maybe some of your beliefs are being tested or questioned, it's really about like standing in your own truth and not being afraid to communicate like what you want, what you believe, who you are, and also communicate with yourself, like, because this is all very like watery Pisces energy in this card to me, even though it's Gemini, like the way it's drawn. And so it's very much about like how you communicate with yourself as well. So not only like cutting out things like negative self-talk, or like maybe obsessive thought patterns, or like negative thought spirals, stuff like that, but also just really getting in touch with your own emotions, with your own intuition, with your intuition, your inner knowing. And really, for those of you who maybe have had trouble connecting to your emotions, you can get to the point where like you don't even know how the fuck you feel in a situation. Like it takes you have to process a bit, right? And so it gets to this place where like you're not able to respond to anything in real time, because you're constantly like having to stop and think about it. And I mean, that happens to all of us. Sometimes I'm not saying that's like wrong, but it's not ideal, right? Because being centered and grounded is all about like knowing that having the inner knowing and being present enough and tapped in enough that you know that like whatever happens, good or bad, you can rise to meet the situation, right? Like whatever that means, that you will be present. And so yeah, that's where the communication is really vital, I think, is like really being in touch with yourself, being in touch with your feelings, with your emotions, and able to communicate that to others and to yourself. So that is, like I said, being as grounded as possible. And then we have luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius, so that is perfect for right now. So again, it's like, I think of that oracle card that says like, what would you do if you knew you would be supported? And so that's definitely the energy I'm getting from this. And so don't be afraid to move in a new direction. Don't be afraid to try new things, to really just ask yourself like, what would make me happy, And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be your new career path. It could just be like, what would be fun? Like, what would make me happy? What would make me feel like myself? And so that's really, I think, what is being called to focus on here. And then we're finishing, Jesus, we're finishing with Blue moon, believe in the impossible. I mean, what a fucking beautiful message, right? And so this is really saying, like, if you do these things, if you really, like, get in touch with who you are, who you want to be, what you want to do, like, new pathways are opening up, new portals, new timelines are opening. That's what the season is all about. And, you know, things are always in flux. And so you can always change your story, you know? If you're not happy with what your story is so far, you have the power to change it, you alone, right? Too often, I think a lot of us, me included, have let, like, other people sort of, like, write their story for them. And I'm getting that, like, for a lot of people, it's, you know, because they weren't, you know, when you're not in touch with who you are or, like, what your truth is, you are allowing other people to tell you who you are. And no one else has the right or really the ability to tell you who you are. Only you do. But if you don't know what that is, then yeah, you're gonna let it be dictated to you, and it's pretty much a guarantee that if that's not what you've come to on your own, it's never gonna make you fully happy. Like, you might be somewhat happy with it, you might be fucking miserable, but, you know, in some cases you might be quite happy, and yet you're never going to be fully happy because you're not being fully yourself. And that's your responsibility. That's your job on this earth, really, is to be in touch with that so that you can be, like, a fully present part of the earth, right? And this isn't about, like, this isn't about, like, contributing. This isn't like some fucking capitalist, like, bullshit. Everyone contributes by just existing. But just being that highest version of yourself, which is what I always come back to. Grounding, being centered, and being yourself. All of these? Really? I think we go. Oh, okay. Oh, they said 2 more. Okay. Jesus. Alright. I said I was going to keep this concise. Okay, patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So, again, like, being patient with yourself, trusting the flow, hermit energy, right? Like, you can only see 2 steps ahead, so focus on those 2 steps. Don't worry about what you've already passed through, and don't worry about what's up ahead. Just stay on your path, right? And don't let people, like, throw you off. Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So again, like, really loving yourself, really appreciating yourself, being in your power, rediscovering yourself. And when you do that, you're able to connect with others so much more deeply, right? And, like, maybe in the past, like I said, your connection to certain people was, like, letting them define you in some way, or letting yourself be defined by them. And this is, like, a higher expression of that. So other people don't define you, and you don't define them, and so through that you're able to, like, truly connect with them and raise each other's vibrations, and you know, have, like, genuine, like, positive, happy, healthy relationships. And then followed by blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So, you know, that Five of Wands energy, that Three of Swords, the Three of Swords energy, really, like, a lot of that, to me is, you know, shit happens, like, people hurt us, absolutely. At the same time, when we live in a constant state of, like, blaming other people for all of our problems, and that really blocks us from addressing the real cause of them, and it blocks us from addressing, like, what in ourselves has been holding us back. And so this really is, like, again, saying, like, I'm taking responsibility for my own well-being, and I'm not going to allow, like, past hurts or past traumas to rule my present, right? And again, like, we're all human, we all have our moments, but if you can at least, like, lessen the degree to which you're allowing it to like, rule your life and like, play out in your present day, even if it's stuff from the past, then you're making progress. And so this one came up in the last one, I think. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. So again, like, trusting your path, trusting your flow, and the flow and your intuition, and just saying, like, I don't know where this is going, but I know that wherever it leads me is going to be somewhere for my highest good. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. And this is a fucking big one, right? Because just what I was saying about letting yourself be defined by other people, a big way that a lot of people, you know, if you have people in your life that you've had, like, control dramas with, or anything like that, like, a lot of, with a lot of toxic relationships, like, the way that people manipulate and control each other, and this isn't even always conscious, right? But it's through guilt, right? So, and it's letting yourself be told, like, well, this is who you should be, this is what you should do, and this is how you should, like, exist in the world, right? And when you listen to that, that's when you get into this, like, it's literally like a fucking shame spiral, right? Because you're not centered. You're not centered. You're letting other people, like, tell you who to be and what to do. And then ending on, like, a very positive note, happiness, right? I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. So, I mean, fucking A, I can't, like, really say it any better than that, can I? Oh, she'll try. She'll try. Okay, let's see how many more. We've got 2 more. Okay. So we have the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck, and this actually popped out while I was shuffling. It's wolf, communication, and I mean, I have a very personal connection to wolves, but aside from that, I definitely felt like this is very much a message for everyone, because, I mean, we're entering winter, first of all, so it is the season for it. Or I guess we're in winter. I live in a place where it doesn't really, like, winter isn't a thing, really. But, communication, you know, and I feel like this is very much, a time for increased communication. And again, like, between, individuals, but also, like, within the self. And, I really get, you know, there's that image of, like, the wolf on the hilltop, you know, howling, and, like, wolves across many hilltops, all howling and communicating with each other. And to me, it's very much like that, you know, we always see it by the light of the full moon, and so it's very much that, juxtaposition between, like, the physical and the unconscious or intuitive. And so, yeah, I felt like that was, like, a very important, energy for this reading. But let's see what else comes out. Okay. One more? No. So we have Shaman, trust in higher forces. And I mean, I literally just said that balance between physical manifestation and like the unconscious or the intuition. And I mean, what is a shaman but a bridge between like the material world and spiritual? And the shaman is the one that like takes those journeys into the unknown and comes back with answers for their people, you know, or they help to oversee other people on their journeys into their own subconscious and into the spirit world. So yeah, I feel like this is very much about, you know, and just like before, King of Wands and Queen of Cups, really striking that balance within yourself and using that to like come to a higher place of understanding. And so then we have Air Guardian, shift your perception. So again, like just questioning those old belief systems, questioning those old like patterns of thought and behavior, and really like starting to move through them and evolve into like a higher version of yourself, and you know, just genuine growth. And so then we have dream and journey. So, you know, again, I think for a lot of you, this really is a message like pay attention to your dreams right now. Try and remember them. Keep like a notebook by your bed. Try and write down as much as you can. And just really like try and, you know, whatever you're able to remember. Some people don't remember their dreams at all, but yeah, this is saying like you'll receive a lot of messages in your dreams, so try and like retain what you can of them. And now we have the Witch's Familiars. Okay. I was just gonna do the one. Alright, so I mean, we had the wolf earlier. The one that came out is Snake Rebirth. Again, very concise, so thanks for that. And then the bottom of the deck energy is Otter Dexterity, and again, that's about adaptability. That's about really, you know, for some of you, I feel like it's about mastering something. So whatever that new thing is that like you're getting into and exploring, you know, some of you really are gonna like become masters at it and really find a purpose through it, or just find like a real like happiness and skill in doing it. And obviously like Snake Rebirth, it's very much about shedding your old skin, like really evolving into like a new version of yourself. So it's really beautiful energy. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the music oracle, which I know you've all been waiting for, right? So I want to get like a pretty bag. I couldn't find like a decent one, so I have this one, but I do, which I do think is pretty, but I also don't want the bag to be like symbolic of our new like techno overlords. So I'm gonna get a new one, but let's see. So we have Sundress by A$AP Rocky. And let's get a couple more. So we have Sundress by A$AP Rocky, Run It Up by Tyler the Creator, and You Got Me by The Roots. So, okay, so with this one, some of you are definitely between relationships, and you might be like regretting some choices. And some of you are really like looking back on your past and maybe like really reflecting on, I guess, like some of the some of the choices or like perspectives that have brought you to the point you're at now. And then Run It Up by Tyler, the creator. To me, so for those of you who are like getting into a new venture or like new hobby, new career path, whatever it is, to me this is such like Three of Cups kind of energy. Or like Three of Pentacles energy. It's very much like community and support, and it's just that feeling of like, you know, being in your power and like encouraging the people around you to like step into their power, and really like everyone just kind of being able to enjoy that and bask in that and like celebrate each other. So it's a really lovely energy. And then You Got Me by the Roots. So for those of you, again, like that Five of Wands energy of that like back and forth, that battle. I mean, that's what the song is about, right? It's like that, like, can I trust them? Can I trust this? What's happening? You know, or like the in and out sort of, and like, I like you, but I don't like you. Just, I don't trust you. I do trust you. So, and yet, like through it all, it's her saying like, you know, baby, don't worry, you know that you've got me. So yeah, some of you are like having a lot of conflict maybe in some of your romantic relationships and having like a lot of back and forth. And so I feel like this is just kind of a reminder, like it said, communication is key, right? So like you have to communicate. If you're having issues, if you're having doubts, like whatever it is, you have to communicate. And you also have to like listen to your intuition, know the difference between like what your head, like what your brain is telling you and what your intuition is telling you, because like, again, when you're not centered, those things can get really fucked up. And yeah, just coming to like a place of more centeredness and better understanding through communication. So that's what I'm getting from that. I think I'm gonna do one more. And like I said, I'm gonna put links to these songs in the description box, just for anyone that does, like, maybe isn't familiar with them. And any songs I mentioned during readings as well, I'll start like putting in the description box as well. Okay. This is Flying by Dehd, D-E-H-D. So yeah, some of you, I do feel like it's, yeah, actually, you know what, okay, sorry. I had to like process it a little bit because I'm thinking about the lyrics, and it's kind of like the higher, the more like evolved energy of the roots, of like You Got Me, because it's more of like an acceptance, you know, that sense of like, even if something doesn't work out, like, you know that the universe has your back. Yeah, and what, there's a card about blame. This is like the opposite of that, because it's really basically saying like, thank you for what you brought to my life, and without like expectation of anything beyond that. But it's so yeah, the line that sticks out is to know you is to care, to love you is a bit unfair. And she keeps saying, you've got me flying. I'm trying to remember the other bit that corresponds to this, but it's not coming to my brain. But yeah, it's, again, it's that like evolution out of blame, out of like the Five of Wands energy into like a more steady, the Queen of Cups energy of like, I do love you and I'm grateful for what you've brought to my life, but I also accept that like you don't belong to me. And just letting things be what they are and letting people be who they are, basically. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to doing more of the music oracle. And also, I was going to say, I'm going to get to the Empress thing next time because I've got shit to do. But I was going to say, so yes, in the description box you'll have links to my Instagram and Facebook, so if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can email me at burningtimestarot@gmail.com, or you can DM me through Instagram or Facebook. Again, I never solicit readings. I will never reach out to you to ask you if you want a reading. There are a lot of scammers on these types of pages, so I just want to make sure that people are aware of that. And yes, if you would like to make a donation, my Venmo is in the description box as well. And if you do enjoy this and you're resonating with my readings, please do give a like and a subscribe and click the bell notification so that you know when I post a new video. It really does help. Like, obviously my channel is just starting, and it, you know, we live in a digital age and it might sound cheesy, but it really does, like, you know, as a reader, like, when you're, just by the simple act of viewing, like, you're tapping into my energy and I'm tapping into yours. And if you do something like or subscribe, yeah, it does, like, you know, you're sort of claiming it in a way and you're sort of like tapping in that bit more. And so, you know, I feel like these readings really are for you. And so if you're connecting with it, it's because like I am tapping into your energy. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope that the solar eclipse treats you well, and I will see you soon.